Yeah, Mark. Yeah.
Yeah.
Corey Collins, I'm making.
Oh, no, so we I was waiting for you to need to.
Okay.
You just want to know. Yes.
Yes, I got it. I responded. Thank you. The fingerprint. One of the stations always done it on. Are you kidding? I've been there, I'm like, I was just telling, where's this?
Okay, I really think about going there. Yeah, so we don't have to.
Everywhere, every day, it was like, I go outside. And then I walk and shop around.
Yeah, bear fruit, yes.
Well, that's cool. They must stick right around the world.
Well, there's only good food out of our, yeah. We do, yeah. That's exactly what it was. So,
Yeah.
All right, everybody, we're gonna go ahead and get started since it's 6 o'clock. Let's stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Have a moment of silence, please. Okay, Tam, you want to call the roll?
Terry Armagost. Here. Megan Dreher.
Here.
Jen White.
Here.
Diane Page. Here. Corey Sherman.
Here.
Lena Southworth.
Here.
Janine Stump.
Here.
Kelly Twilliger.
Here.
And Mark Bertel.
Okay. So, did everybody have a chance to review the minutes? And do you have any changes or corrections to those minutes?
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Oops, was that an aye, Corey, for in favor?
In favor, yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that, I'll try to remember to leave a second pause there for you guys. Opposed? Abstentions, motion carries. All right, any public participation this evening? Nope. Okay, good. No presentations? Any board concerns? Well, we're moving right along this evening. All right, there's only 2 items on the consent agenda. Everybody good with voting on those? All right, somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second. Moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Excellent. Finance and purchase. Lena, I'm gonna have you do this one since Mark's not here.
Okay, so neither Stacy, right? No.
No seat today.
So I'm gonna group the A through F together. I would like to make a motion to accept letters A through F. So moved.
Second. It's been moved and seconded for letters A through F. Is there any discussion? All right, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Letter G, consideration to approve raising breakfast and lunch prices for the 2021-2022 school year by 5 cents for the following: Mary Jefferson Head Start, St. Petersburg Head Start, and pre-K counts program. So moved.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Any
Oh,
questions?
I do have a question about that.
Yeah.
Remember how Stacy said that we might be able to get free lunches next year for our school district? Do you know if there's any grants out there that would help them get the free lunches, or is it just K through 12?
I'll have to report back on that.
Good question, Lena. Any other questions? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. All right, personnel. Kelly, will you do this, please?
Sure. Okay, item A, consideration to approve the request from Andy Whitcomb to continue to work as a volunteer coach with the following athletic teams: baseball, boys and girls basketball, and cross country as attached. Move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? We're all pretty grateful to have Andy's help and assistance. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
All right, item B, consideration to approve the athletic director job description that's dated July 19th, 2021 as attached. So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Item C, consideration to approve the high school principal job description dated July 19th, 2021 as attached. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Item D, consideration to approve hiring Stephanie Whitmer as head cross-country coach at a supplemental salary of $1,237. Stephanie has been the assistant cross-country coach for the past 2 years, and all necessary paperwork is on file with the district office. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Item E, consideration to approve advertising for the vacated assistant cross-country coach. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Item F, consideration to approve advertising for a Title I instructional aide. So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
So David, this would be a full-time position?
Yes,
Okay.
that's the one that was vacated full-time. And Mrs. Sherman and I talked today. Lori, did you want to talk a little bit more about the specifics behind the position?
Well, she serves as both an aide and sort of a secretary to the federal programs. In the aide role, she does the progress monitoring, helps them out with that with dibbles. She meets and does remediation with some of the students that Marcy and Aaron also are working with it at that time. We try to keep those reading specialist groups to 5, no more than 5 at a time when they're working with them. So I said she because it was a she that vacated. It doesn't have to be she, but so she would help with keeping those numbers in line, especially in K-2. She worked a lot with that group. She does all of the filing for federal programs, all of the like making sure we're in compliances. Like we have to collect certain things from families. She tracks all of that, make sure that we get it back from families. I think we have to make 2 attempts, or we can just document that we made the attempts. She did, for me, she helped out a lot with BSSAs come springtime. She got all of that organized and ready to go. Take a little bit of that off my plate. But with Carrie being a full-time teacher and also federal programs coordinator, Carrie relied on her quite a bit to help her out with a lot of the compliance issues, just to make sure that we had everything on file. She kept all of those documents in order, in addition to helping with certifications. And then I do give her like morning assignments and end of day assignments and lunch duties in the middle of the day. So
As much as it'd be great to reduce that particular condition at this time, I'm not sure with Carrie's limited ability during the day, as well as we have a audit going on this year as well. So
yeah, that's another big piece with that audit going on. Carrie's going to need a ton of help getting that all right.
And there was, you had said something about there's a degree requirement associated with this that you guys didn't realize to begin with. Is that
Yes,
correct?
they have to have either an associate's degree or 48 credits. If they do the credit route, then they also have to pass a local math and reading comprehension exam.
Like, we have to make it up, or is there
Apparently
something out there?
Our board made it up back whenever that became a thing, so.
Yeah, that was passed a number of years ago.
like I
Okay,
said, a state or locally developed assessment.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Carrie was aware of it, and she said that it's probably filed up there. We would need that exam.
gotcha.
They
Okay.
have to have a degree.
Didn't specify.
It
what
doesn't
degree
say,
had
it
to be.
just
It
that they have an,
says
had 2 years
degree,
of college, I think.
Associate's degree or 48 credits.
Yeah. Okay.
And if they, then, I don't know if both had to take that test, or just if they didn't have a degree.
I think it's if they don't have the degree,
It's
it's
on
on.
the test too.
Yeah, if they do the 48 hours, if I'm remembering correctly, then they have to do the test.
Yeah, and it does make sense because Kirsten did do some like instructional things, so. Carrie was the one that taught that, so we're very thankful she caught it before we moved on.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Any other questions, or you guys need any more information? All right, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. All right, instructional services. Diane, will you do this, please?
Sure. We have the elementary report.
Sure. So on June 24th, we wrapped up our summer school program. It's been pretty quiet here ever since. That program went very well. All of the students involved showed progress in one area or another over the course of that. So we're hoping that we see a difference from that when they return to school in August. And even though it's been quiet since then, we know that it's going to get noisy very soon. I counted the other day, and I think we shouldn't say this, but we have 24 work days before the teachers are back, so. Sorry, but, so it's like crunch time for us as well. So a couple of things that I've been working on, I spoke with the kindergarten teachers, and we are putting together something new for this year for our incoming kindergartners, and we're calling it Kinder Camp. And I do want to give Doug Mays, our substitute principal, he was the one who kind of gave me this idea at the beginning, told me about the Kinder Camp they did. We're doing a little bit modified version of that, but it will be on August 17th and 18th for 3 hours from 9 to 12. The teachers will get an additional hour to prep for it. But the goal of it is not instructional at all. It's basically to get kids in here, get used to being a student, how to line up. I mean, it all sounds very simple, but when they're 5 years old, they haven't done it. How to line up, how to raise their hands, how to do all of the morning procedures that they do. we want to do from 9 to 12, and at 11:30, we'd like to bring them down here and just have like a small lunch, maybe a slice of pizza or a sandwich or something to get them used to the process of finding their table, going through the lunch line, like how that all goes, without all of the other kids here. So it's a little less intimidating for them. And hopefully it will help on the first day of school too, because we often have to drag kids off with their parents and, you know, sometimes it's dramatic. So hopefully if they can come in a little less stressful environment, it will help with those nerves as well, for parents and kids. We're not intending to provide transportation, so it's obviously not mandatory. It will just be for families who want to take advantage of it and have their kids come. Also, for kindergarten, we will still do the regular kindergarten orientation, which we're going to hold on August 24th, following the in-service. I don't have an exact time on that yet, but we will be getting information out to those families, and that's the night where the parents come as well. We go, the teachers are here, cafeteria is here, and we kind of just go through what it means to be a kindergartner and a student at AC Valley, and it's helpful for the parents to know what to expect. And prior to that, we'll have our new student registration on August 10th and 11th, which is on our Facebook page and our website, information about that if anybody needs it. So by the 17th and 18th, we should know who all of our incoming kindergartners are, so that we can invite everyone to that. We are going to try to get invites out soon. I'm going to put it before the board for official approval in August. But if it's okay with you to go ahead and send out invites to that, I think our board meeting is the day before we'd like to do it.
Sounds like a great idea. Yeah, I think so.
So thank you. And other than that, today I emailed that we have 16 elementary teachers who have voluntarily signed up for a letters training, which is language essentials for teachers of reading and spelling. This is something that Carrie Longo has been working on through these federal programs money for professional development. We had an excellent response to it. They need 4 training dates for that professional development for this year, and it's a 2-year commitment. So we do 4 training dates this year, and then they'll do more next year. 3 of those 4 we were going to do on in-service days, but the first one is actually going to be August 20th. So I reached out to those teachers, so we're going to be getting that started August 20th. Hopefully that will help teachers hone their skills on, you know, teaching kids about phonological awareness, phonics, fluency, vocab, those kinds of things. And I have teachers from kindergarten through 6 that are signed up. So I was excited that we got so many on board with that, and I look forward to getting that started with that program this year. As far as what's going on in the building, that's it for my report today.
Thank you. Consideration to approve the Allegheny Clarion Valley Elementary Student Handbook as attached. So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
I can update you on what the changes were. If you need that.
Does anybody need that? Are we able to go over, everybody able to get through all of the handbooks okay? Yeah, we're good, I think.
I had it in red. Well,
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Consideration to approve Allegheny Clarion Valley Elementary Staff Handbook as attached. So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? All right, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
We have a secondary report, please.
Yes. I placed a copy of the current graduation requirements for both the state and for our local requirements at your desk. If you notice, starting with the graduating class of 2023 and beyond, students will be required to graduate based upon the 5 pathways as determined by PBE. This in addition to our local requirements. This, I'll call it a can, has been kicked down the road 3 times or more at this point, and I looked throughout PD's website, and there doesn't seem to be any indication that they're going to continue that. That they are going to implement it as of the class of 22-23. So having said that, I plan on meeting with a couple of key individuals to streamline our senior project that would include adding these pathways as a knowledge piece for the students. I also plan on meeting with Mrs. Logue and work with her to do a complete audit on our current students so that they know exactly what they need to do before graduation comes for the 22-23 class. I've been wanting to align the senior project for a while with the new career and college readiness standards. And so I plan on meeting with those folks. We've done it a few times in the last couple of years, but we never really have had time to sit down and actually produce a document. But what that would look like would be our local requirements, in addition to some job shadowing and career choices work, and some community service. So I hope to be talking to the board more in depth as I work through that with those individuals. But I think at some point we need to have a discussion about senior project, especially for this year coming up. Knowing that we have that requirement for community service and just coming out of COVID, I think a lot of students are going to be lacking in a lot of those areas. So that's just something to think about as we progress through this. But let's have some discussion on that in the next couple of months. Also planning for next school year, I plan on focusing on understanding specific student needs in the core areas of math, science, and English ELA. Specifically, I plan on using the iReady assessment at the very beginning of the year to identify those student weak areas and areas of need, and talking with teachers specifically how we can support those students and overcome those learning losses due to COVID. In the areas of athletics, I would like to bring attention to the coaching vacancies that we currently have and request that the district re-advertises for the open positions. Currently, we have 7 open positions in various areas, and I feel strongly that it's going to be difficult on our student athletes moving forward if we don't have coaches in those key positions.
Do you know what those are?
I do. I actually have a little highlighted area here. One is in junior high assistant football, girls head golf coach, the assistant cross country, which is mentioned tonight, assistant varsity volleyball, girls basketball, the head coach, and both head and assistant cheer positions. Those 2 are probably most necessary immediately. Stacy Fox has been helping me out tremendously, and I thank her so much for her guidance on this. But I don't believe that she is interested in taking that job as a coach again at this time. And that concludes my secondary report.
Okay, thank you. Consideration to approve the Allegheny Clarendon Valley High School student handbook with changes attached as attached separate.
Second.
I'm sorry, I was asking a technical question based on some of the new legislation, so I apologize. It was moved and seconded. All right. Any discussion in regards to the student handbook for the high school? All right, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Consideration to approve the Allegheny Clarendon Valley Junior Senior High School Teachers Handbook as attached. So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Do we have a federal programs report?
Yes, I don't have a lot to report, but we are processing ESSER 1 and ESSER 2 bills that are coming in. And as the meeting, that before this meeting, We're continuing working on the narrative for the ESSER 3 grant.
Okay, thank you. Consideration to approve, according to Act 18 of 2019, the Allegheny Clearing Valley School District Threat Assessment Team. The school police officer, Mr. David Stittler, will be the threat assessment team leader and be involved in all investigations. The school police officer will align resources and team members. The team will consist of junior, senior high school principal, junior, senior high school counselor, junior, senior high school nurse, elementary school principal, elementary school counselor, elementary school nurse, and the school psychologist and superintendent. The school psychologist will be involved if the threat, no, if the treat is, I think that should say threat.
It should say threat.
Yeah, if the threat is from and or toward a student who is diagnosed with disability, and the superintendent will be involved in all district-wide threats. So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
We won't pull the entire team together if there's a threat of a high school or one separate here at the elementary. We'll separate those teams out, and I'll get involved when needed, or when if needed, as far as that goes with the plan. I will be going to a training, so I'll be able to educate on the information learned whenever I come back from there.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, discussion? All right, all of those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Lena.
Lena. Yeah. Diane, can we have his report next? Kind of skipped over the district report.
Sure.
Thank
I was
you.
gonna throw it in there at some point. So I just have two little items, and then I'll talk a little bit more in detail with the health and safety plan. First off, we have our new special education director, Justin Karam. He's in here reviewing IEPs, preparing for the audit, getting to know some of the staff members on campus, and he's setting up a training day with all the learning support teachers to review the proper procedures for running an IEP. So him and Anna are working very efficiently together, and Elizabeth is back on campus, and they actually spent some time with the high school today with the faculty. And then just one more item here, Diane, is just an update on the fair funding lawsuit, and this has been going on since 2014. A lawsuit alleging the Pennsylvania General Assembly had violated the state's constitution by failing to provide fair and adequate funding for public education will go to trial in September. And according to the Commonwealth, that this will take about 6 weeks to get through. And just keep in mind that fair funding formula we're part of that lawsuit because we're part of the PARS organization. And a lot of small rural school districts are being underfunded. So this could potentially be great news. First, the article talks that Pennsylvania Department of Ed or the General Assembly puts in about 30% of the overall funding for public education, and the national average is 48%. And depends on what stats you're reading, but we're ranked 44th out of 50 with the funding from the state. So hopefully that continues to progress forward, and that small schools like us will reap the benefits from it. And Diane, that concludes my report right now, and then I'll talk a little bit more when we get down to the health and safety.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I haven't.
That's okay. No problem.
Consideration to approve the memorandum of understanding between Jefferson Clarion Head Start Incorporated and the Allegheny Clarion Valley School District for the period of July 2021 through June 2022 as attached. So moved.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Consideration to approve the health and safety plan version 8 as attached. So moved.
I'll go ahead and provide a little bit of more details on this particular plan. It's all in your packet. Once approved, we'll post it on the website and share it with the community. But the Pennsylvania Department of Health and the Department of Education will continue to advise school entities to follow the current CDC guidelines. So the information that's been rolled out by those two departments will not continue like they had in the past. So we'll be looking for all our health guidelines from CDC. And the Department of Health will kick in if we have to do any kind of contact tracing. Some of the recent updates from the CDC are as follows. They have the COVID-19 prevention for K through 12 schools. Their number one goal is to get everybody back into face-to-face, and everybody's plan is going to look a little bit differently, and ours definitely does. The update emphasizes the need to monitor community transmission, vaccine coverage, screening, testing, and outbreaks that occur throughout the school year, and the guidance will be layered with preventative strategies, and the goal is to be back for in-person learning. For example, because of the importance of in-person learning, the CDC recommends that schools where not everyone is fully vaccinated should implement physical distancing to the extent possible and should continue to offer in learning face-to-face practices. So it all goes back to face-to-face instruction. So what we did this past year was spot on. To go a little bit further into the plan, it's a different format altogether. Jim will sign off after we approve it tonight. But there's 10 categories that must be outlined. And the first one, self-screening and COVID-19 symptoms. And that doesn't change. That's all the same as in the past. We have to self-monitor. If you have one or more symptoms in group A, then you have to stay home. If you have two or more symptoms in group B, you're to stay home. Report any kind of outbreaks or contact with an affected person to the school nurses and the superintendent. So that changes very little. Number two would be the communicable diseases reporting procedures. And this will continue to be the same. So the school nurses will work with the Pennsylvania Department of Health, and Desiree is our contact person, and we'll continue to report, we'll monitor situations and work in conjunction with them if or potentially when we have an outbreak. Good hygiene, hand washing, respiratory etiquette, such, that doesn't change. Continuing to wash your hands at times, or for at least 20 seconds whenever it's available, using hand sanitizer when you can't wash your hands, don't touch your face and nose. Continuing to increase the air opening up windows, the HVAC system that we have in both systems, they all adhere into that layering approach to keep everybody safe. Face coverings. As of June 28th, face coverings are optional for all individuals, but the district encourages individuals to wear face coverings if they're not vaccinated or if they feel comfortable doing so. So we're not going to make it mandated at this time, but if we do have a community outbreak or we have a situation in school, I can foresee potentially maybe putting the face coverings on for a short period of time to get us back in here to face-to-face instruction. So a lot of that may be adjusting, and it'll depend on how we make out in the fall. Just keep in mind too, while on school transportation, all students are required to wear a mask. Drivers may not wear a mask if there are no passengers. So that's the one piece, and it came straight from Nova Ortega, and it's on the CDC guidelines that we're to wear masks while being transported in that extracurricular activities, the van, the bus, whatever it may be. That may change, but at this particular time, that's an area that we don't have a whole lot of wiggle room.
So that was mandatory, David?
Yes.
It's federal, right?
Yeah.
That's what we discussed, it's a federal.
And Noah Ortega addressed it specifically in his last email, even though they're not providing guidance, he did reference it. So that may be a bit of a challenge for us, but we'll provide throwaway face masks to the drivers morning and evening as well. So that is part of the plan. Number 5, cleaning and disinfecting your workspace. Ensure that your desk workspace is clean, clear files, folders, and allow cleaning services by the custodian staff. So one area we're going to drop, since the disease is not transmitting like we originally thought, was the teacher wiping down the desks. We want the teachers to focus in on kids, putting their eyes on the kids, meeting and greeting, planning and preparing, and we'll continue to work with Mark and his crew to clean up like we did in the past. We still have our 2 part-time custodians that will walk through and wipe down high traffic areas and such, but we're going to alleviate that piece of it. We will have the training, and I'll talk a little bit about that later on. We're still encouraging everybody to wear the protective equipment. If the nurses were to interact with students who potentially positive, they're to wear their PPE gear, and the school buses and vans are to be wiped down once a day. Maintaining physical distance. The the CPC recommends a 3-foot distance, not only in the classroom, but the cafeteria as well. So we've been working with the building principals. They were part of the planning committee that came up with these recommendations as well. So we are going to refrain from, high fives, handshakes. We want to cut that down. We want to respect people's personal spaces and maintain physical distancing at all times. And again, we'll try to circulate the air as much as possible. Number 7, stay informed with the CDC guidance. I'm on the guidance constantly. The school nurses have been as well. We continue to read information being passed on by cdc.gov, and we'll continue to monitor and self-report when necessary. Number 8, monitor communications and confidentiality. We just need to continue to communicate by email, Facebook, and school messenger to not only our staff, but our local community. And we're to continue to adhere to confidentiality. We just need to continue to remind our local community members that if somebody is sick, we're not using names. We want to respect not only students, but staff confidentiality. Number 9, participate in required trainings. On August 23rd, we'll have Bill Allen come in and he'll work with the staff on proper training, cleaning protocols, and any kind of new hire that comes in afterwards. We'll work with Martin Institute to train them as well. And then number 10, the final portion of this is stay informed and maintain best practices. So again, we'll continue to work with the Pennsylvania Department of Health, PDE, and cdc.gov. And I try to educate our staff as much as we can through email blast. We get monthly emails from the Highmark Insurance, as well as the Sheeny Group, and so we're a small district just down the hallway, and the door's always open. So the plan is modified from last year. It's an easy to follow and reference guidance. It's 4 pages long, and we're real happy with the information that we have in here. Just one caveat before I finish off, Diane, is we have to meet within every 6 months, or if there's any kind of changes to the plan. So we may be coming back in with a different plan as things change. But right now, the group feels pretty comfortable with what we have in front of you. Any questions or comments from me?
Thank you.
Thank you, Diane.
All right, so if there are no questions or comments, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Consideration to approve the emergency instructional time template, section 520.1 through 2021 through 2022 as attached. Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Just keep in mind that this provides us with flexibility if we had closed down for a day or 2 or 3 days and do remote instruction, distance learning, we can do so. I also created a hybrid schedule if we, for some crazy reason, had a breakdown and limit the number of staff here. I have that as part of that template as well. So once we approve these, we'll go ahead and upload it. It's going to be a little bit different on the Department of Ed side. It will go through the e-grants and not necessarily into the Department of Ed. So when we change that periodically, we'll have to go through e-grants to change those.
Any questions? All right, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Consideration to approve the Allegheny Clear Valley Cyber Services handbook with changes attached as attached. So moved.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Consideration to approve the proposal for dental services from Big Smile Program, Pennsylvania. To be determined. So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions? And that to be determined, I'm assuming, is the fee, David? On the dental?
They don't charge us anything. It's the actual document itself.
Oh,
So we haven't got that.
we haven't got it, just to approve.
We just want to make sure we have it in place before we begin.
Gotcha, okay. And we've used them for a number
Yeah,
of
good.
years. Yeah, 10 or more at least, I think. So, any other questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Consideration to approve the Allegheny Clarendon Valley Transportation handbook is attached. So moved.
Somebody want to second that?
Seconded.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you, Lena. Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any
Yes.
discussion? All right, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Was your aye, Megan, for an opposed or an in favor? In favor. Okay, thank you. Abstentions? Motion carries.
I guess we don't have a school police report.
Dave's here this evening. I don't have anything. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we need to add, for Bill's request, motion to advertising in for those open positions? I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah, and we can do it, actually, this is under the district portion, so let's do it under new business. We'll add those, we can add those to the, assistant track, assistant cross-country that we already approved. Okay. Yep, thank you. All right. Janine, you want to do policy?
Sure. Policy A, consideration to approve the first reading of policy 218.1 weapons as attached. So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Item B, consideration to approve the first reading of policy 218.2 terroristic threats as attached. So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Item C, consideration to approve the first reading of policy 236.1 threat assessment as attached. So moved.
Second.
Moved and.
Sorry, I was reading.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Item D, consideration to approve the first reading of policy 247 hazing as attached. So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Discussion. All right, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Item E, consideration to approve the first reading of policy 249 bullying/cyberbullying as attached. So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Item F, consideration to approve the first reading of policy 805, emergency preparedness and response as attached. So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Item G, consideration to approve the first reading of policy 805.2, school security personnel as attached. So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Item H, consideration to approve the first reading of policy 816, district social media as attached. So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Mr. Milford, do you have a report for us?
Yeah. As you can see, there's some work getting done around here, getting close to the driveway. Parking lots are double coated. Now they're waiting a few weeks to let the gravel settle in, and they'll sweep the whole place again before they paint the lines. They'll paint all the parking spots. The high school cafeteria, asbestos maintenance has been completed. The new floor has been installed. Looks nice. We're working now to get the hallways down around that. It kind of delayed all the hallways around that area, the gymnasium. So we're trying to get that done this week and hopefully get that area opened up and the gyms opened up for the coaches. Our floor company is down here working on the controls. They have crew guys in here working. They're doing well. Elevator company was in assessing the elevator. They haven't started on it yet, but they are getting that ready. So that's soon. Custodial staff are busy. This is the first year that we didn't have, like the rest of the country, and I know Mrs. Butler said in motivation, the kids, we didn't have enough kids apply for summer workers this year. It's the first time ever we don't have enough kids.
How old they
16.
Oh.
We advertised and extended the advertisement, and sent emails out even to seniors, and we're at 5, we need 6. We have trouble getting kids this year. We still have a 3-hour part-time position that's not filled also with the coaching positions. We don't have anybody applying for those jobs. I think the whole country's in this shape. It's not just AC Valley. It's sad. I don't know what the problem is, but we have to face it here in AC Valley. Whatever we can do to get our students motivated to want to be to do their schoolwork, and if you're not going to be motivated to do their higher out after work, whatever we can do to help that would be great. Sure, the rest of the country wants that advice too. But my house and I received our first grandchild on July 4th. So
Nice, baby.
Yeah. We have a little boy, Emmett Alexander Connors. We're very proud. We make a lot of trips to Cranberry County now to see babies, but work on houses.
That's always best.
Thank you.
Oh, congratulations, Mark. That's great. Any questions for Mark? So, Mark, just other than the summer kids, I just want to be clear about what you said. You have one 3-hour position not open? I mean, that's open?
That's correct.
Any other ones?
No, we don't have any substitutes.
Okay.
We haven't had any substitutes for the last couple of years. We have no one really wanted to fill in. We've been very lucky. Our custodians and part-time people have stepped up and filled those jobs, but unfortunately, we're working them some too many hours. So. But we have done a choice. We don't have anything else to work.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
You're retired.
All right.
I got a grandbaby coming in a couple weeks.
How
And then you're out.
All right. Any other questions for Mark? Okay. Transportation. Let's see, Kelly, you want to do transportation?
Sure. Consideration to approve the request from Jennifer Callender Transportation, to change her address to 3701 State Route 308, Hamilton, PA 16373. So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion?
Is that address correct? Because I don't know that 308 goes through Wilmington.
It's not going to Clinton.
Yep, that would be.
I think where she is, it's still Hamilton. It's not in our school district. It's
Is it right on Montauk, like the,
Hospital Road.
it's what?
That's 208.
Oh, maybe that's a typo.
Yeah, 308 runs from Julian down to Butler. Like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, 208 maybe. It just didn't seem right to me, but I don't think that's enough.
I'll look on her paper sheet.
That's all I can do.
That would be a 208.
Yeah.
Like if it was past Riddle Road, that would be
Where
208.
she showed me was like wow.
Yes. Yep, that would be 208.
Well,
Maybe we
Tammy
should
will double check
Jen.
that.
Yeah.
We need to take wood or?
Hey.
That would be part of her end of year report for transportation. That'd be really important that we have the exact address. I suggest that we
But then will that mess up your end of the year report time?
That was it'll be for next year.
Okay.
Okay, so.
I mean, because we really can't approve it as 308, we'd have to change it.
Right, yeah, so we would have to. Okay, so does somebody want to make a motion to table this, please?
So I'll make a motion that we table this item A until we get the actual, confirm the address information.
Second, moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Okay, item B, consideration to approve the request from Pamela Myers, Pam Myers Transportation Incorporated, to add a 10-passenger 2016 Ford Transit van to her fleet for the 2021-2022 school year as attached. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. Okay, who's left? Carrie, will you do miscellaneous, please?
Sure. Do we have a career center report? Corey, did you get to attend? I wasn't there.
Yeah, I was at the last PSB, not much, the last PSB meeting, but, last Friday, few of us on the planning committee met, just to kind of discuss the future of the school and get some planning in place, and David was there as well. I think we had a really good discussion, a lot of ideas floating around, so Tracy's working on a few things right now to get some more data, so we can start looking at programs and some marketing and some different things for the school. So I think it was a really good discussion, and yeah, Tracy's doing a great job at spearheading everything. So
Great.
All right, do we have an IU report? Absolutely nothing. I was there, I attended. Let me think, I was like, I deleted off my phone because I thought I already talked about it. We elected officers again. We had some new members come on from different school districts, one in particular, because the one member has not been in any meetings. So they kind of, I think the superintendent's got the email out saying, if you can't attend meetings, please get off the board and elect someone that will. We are gonna try, we didn't have a meeting this month, we're gonna try in August to go back to face-to-face, or via Zoom, whichever you prefer, however you can get there. And I think that is about it. Yes, okay. Do we have any correspondence? No. Technology.
We haven't met since the last time.
Yeah, not since the last board meeting.
Yeah.
No, and we just reviewed the policy and just talked about, potentially getting a new chairperson on that committee and then the future of the committee. So we agreed that evening that we would meet, when needed. So if there was a technology issue that would come up or we needed to resolve a problem, then we get the committee back together. So we're going to kind of move away from, the really current meeting. Everything good.
Athletic committee update. We did meet, but I don't, okay, yeah, we met Tuesday. We met Tuesday. I was on vacation, so it was, we talked about the schedule for the bands,
Coordination of bands,
coordination for bands. We talked about,
COVID protocols for small fall sports.
Yeah.
Self-reporting, streaming of games and competitions. We plan on continuing that, to benefit the community, and officials shortages. So just in case anybody needs to know, there's quite a shortage of officials. With some officials retiring or passing away, there's just nobody stepping up to do the job. And some schools are reporting they can't even get the officials to do some of the games for fall sports. So it's a crisis.
so that was the big thing, I feel. Now, do you have to take a course to become a referee? Like, what is it?
Pass the test.
Yep.
Yeah, pass the test. So there are courses that are related to that. It's really knowing the rules and regulations in the game.
one to take the abuse.
If anybody's interested, contact me and I can put you on a road trip.
Okay.
I just can't run up and down that court. That'd be my problem. Since
You
we're
do it
talking
in a
about
little
football
scooter?
court, I'd be like, oh.
You could do volleyball.
Yes, you can do volleyball for sure, and there is a shortage of volleyball referees, so.
Since we're talking about athletics, there was a little ad in the Progress News this week from Carn City recruiting for
Yeah.
any soccer players at
I
AC
saw that.
Valley. I did see that, so said to contact Josh if any AC Valley students were interested in playing soccer.
Like, just like, not their school soccer. Their
Yes.
school soccer.
Yes.
Yes.
Boy, was it boys and
Oh,
girls?
wait,
Just boys?
yes,
Yes.
sorry.
I couldn't remember, I read it, but they had his email address wrong, so.
Contact him. You know, that would be that's such a Josh move. All right, finance committee?
We didn't meet.
Okay, well, that was easy.
All right, great. Is there any old business to come before the board?
Well, maybe this is old business now, but Jen Calendar responded and said it is 3701 State Route 308. And
Oh, 308. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I would beg to, like, I would beg to differ.
why Google mapped it. Looks to me
I don't
like
know, if you go by address, it's sometimes like over on Route 38, it's a Parker address and therefore it.
Oh, yeah, but like, Edmonton,
it comes up on
carriers
my
would,
Google map as Harrisville.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
yeah.
All right, well, if she verified that, I think that's what we have to go with then. So
We're gonna go back. and-
would somebody like to go back and,
I was waiting to do that one?
yes, please.
Okay, consideration to approve the request from Jennifer Calendar Transportation to change her address to 3701 State Route 308, Hamilton, PA 16373. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
What do we do if we find out that we voted on
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, hold on 1 second before we vote. Corey and Megan, there's a question.
But she'll have to come back.
We have to.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to come back and edit that or re-vote on it with the with the new address. But I'm going to assume she has her address. I'm just saying.
Oh, I sound like.
Yeah, that's really strange, but that's, I mean, the event center, that was always like State Route 58 Parker, PA or something.
But 30, I mean, I know where 308 is, and I'm just saying that that is not anywhere near an Hamilton address. 208 is, which is where she said it was, would make sense
I
for
think
208.
She told me it was just before you get to Clipville, and I think I was picturing 208.
208,
The way she described it, but when I Googled it, I think it's coming up.
and past
Like
River
from
Road.
Harrisville, no, not Riverwood's on 208, but coming up, you know, if you're coming from Harrisville up toward Bradyville and 80.
Right.
It's just before there.
Okay.
I mean, I know people there, but it's a Harrisville address.
But I Google mapped it, it said Harrisville.
Well, we'll go with what she says. That's all we can do.
She confirmed it, so if it's
Yep.
inaccurate, we precise it.
All right, any other discussion here? Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Okay, any other old business? Any new business?
Yes, we need to make a motion to advertise the open sports coaches positions with the advertisement for the cross-country assistant. Yes, so we need to add to that. Make a motion to do that.
Okay,
Second.
moved and seconded. And just to clarify, it will be all of those positions that Dr. Jordan listed down.
Just keep in mind that Senate Bill 554 and it turned into Act 65 of 2021. We can't change the agenda unless it's de minimis in nature. And I feel as if we we've already advertised this, and it's not like shattering that we can re-advertise it.
Yeah.
We didn't have them.
I agree as well,
It's just
because,
an ongoing, we're trying to fill the position, and it's almost.
We've already approved the motion to advertise, we're just adding some names to it. So
exactly, and there's another piece in there that says if it's an emergency situation, well, to me, we have to get a golf coach. And we need to get an assistant volleyball coach, because those are fall sports
And
positions.
cheer.
Oh, and cheer,
Do
and
we,
assistant football, so,
do you want to advertise, add yours added again?
Yeah, absolutely. Unless
So,
we've got an application that I don't know of.
so we need to add the maintenance position, I guess, as well.
is it a maintenance
3 hours,
position?
yeah, I think a 3 hour part-time.
Okay,
So just so I'm correct on this, we're gonna advertise for junior high assistant football, a girls head golf coach, an assistant cross-country coach, an assistant varsity volleyball, a head girls basketball coach, a head cheerleading coach, an assistant cheerleading coach, and a 3-hour part-time custodian.
that is correct, right, Dr. Gordon?
I believe so.
Okay, that's what I had on my list, so, okay. Any questions, any discussion? All right, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Okay. I did not think quick enough to share just 2 quick items with you all. PSBA is going to start doing their board leadership Zoom calls again, starting in August for vice presidents, presidents, and PSBA liaisons. They're only going to do it once a month now instead of weekly. And they will continue their full board ones. I don't know when those start yet. So just to be aware of that.
Those are during the day, right?
They are during the day. They're at like 12:30.
Tuesdays, right?
Yeah, Tuesdays, the second Tuesday of the month is what they're gonna do, starting in August, so the first one will be August 10th. The second thing is, I was asked to sit on PSBA's platform committee. So if anybody has any thoughts about a platform that they would like PSBA to take up in terms of pushing that legislation and making that part of PSBA's platform for the 21-22 school year, please let me know so I can help you to get that submitted. And I'll be working on that in September, and it will go to vote at the delegate meeting in October. So, yeah, so I was honored that they asked me to participate in that, so. All right, would somebody like to make a motion to adjourn to an executive session if there's nothing else?
I will make a motion that we are adjourning to an executive session. That's gonna move.
Moved and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions, motion carries. Thank you, everyone.
Can we just wait to have that for personal?
I'm sorry.